mentioned where
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
studied. Okay, so currently I'm in Kenya. I reside in Kenya, Nairobi. I'm studying at USAU. But before that, I studied in Johannesburg in South Africa, and then I also studied in the States in New
Mm.
York specifically. So I have lived in both two places and now in Kenya. So
Yeah,
kind of have a
that's like
bit,
two continents right there.
yeah, kind of have a bit, a very small experiences here and there, which
It's not small.
well,
We're talking two continents, god damn it. It's two.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but yeah. So I'm a very normal. I was brought up as a very normal African kid,
Yeah.
like studying in Kayumba,
Yeah.
going to school
Yeah.
every day. Yeah, that's how normal it was. And for me, like, it was fine. I can
Yeah.
say, like, I didn't necessarily, because that's how normal was presented. So
Yeah.
it was okay. I didn't complain, but I mean, some part within me, I just knew I wanted something bigger. Every day, I just knew that I wanted to do something big. And I remember when I was in, I think it was standard 5 or 6. Those clubs that's usually in primary school, shoot and roots.
Yeah.
Those clubs,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember I was in one of the club about, I think it was about HIV and AIDS or something, and I got involved only because there are visitors every day. Like, visitors are coming in, and they'll talk about how it was different, like in most parts of the continent to, let's say, Europe, and that got me very interested. So I joined because of that. And so since back then, I was a very curious
Very
kid.
curious girl, yeah.
Yeah. And then in secondary school, I studied in Kisutu Girls, and I think that's where I met most of what, how can I say this, like most of the opportunities that I've gotten was from that school.
The girls' school.
Yeah, I am forever grateful. Studying at a no more like government girls' school, and especially it being in the center of the city.
Yeah.
There's so many things to know, to places to visit, and also people to meet. And when I was in school, I met with this woman. Her name was Caroline Carissima. She's from Uganda, but she resides currently in Tanzania, and she had this program for young girls, teaching how to code, and I got interested only because of the word coding. I didn't know
Yeah.
what was that, and I was like,
I was like, yeah,
exactly.
I don't know what you are, but I love you.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
like, that seemed interesting. So I joined, but I didn't know anything about coding.
Yeah.
But I remember I joined just because I was like, something new. I should actually join.
That's right.
And then I joined, and since then I have met so many powerful women, and I've made so many friends. I've been to so many places just because of that word coding. So every time I think about it, I'm like, sometimes it's good to be curious, to ask yourself, what is this or what is
Just
not.
follow your intuition.
Exactly. So my journey started there. Started at Kisutu Girls, and then joined the coding club. Started learning how to code when I was 15, and I started my own venture. I remember that time. I really was drawn into helping women in the community. I know you're very big in that. Like you yourself.
Thank you. Yeah.
So from there, I got somebody actually from this school, African Leadership Academy, reached out to me on Facebook.
They reached out to you.
They reached out to me. I
Wow.
don't even know them. So they were like, "Hey, I see what you're doing in these corners. Do you mind checking this link out?" And truth be told, I didn't.
You didn't check it out.
I didn't. That's the thing, and I didn't. Not only
like what was going through your mind, because like it's Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And I know you're a cute girl, so it's Facebook.
I know, right? I was like, there must be some weird links this person is sending,
must be an Indian.
I know.
You know the Indians in Facebook?
No offense, but yes.
Yeah.
But so I finally checked it out. I think it was 1 week to the deadline, and this guy kept texting me every day, did you apply? And when I opened, I remember when I read the mission of the school, I was like, oh my God, this is where I belong. Like building young Africans, being in all one space, discussing about problem and challenges facing the continent and how to solve them. I was like, I need to be in this place. I was sold. So I immediately I knew I wanted to be there, and I applied, and I think the rest is history. I was very lucky to be chosen to go there. I think I was the first person from my school to go to that school, so that was very special.
Wow.
And then from there, everything escalated so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I know. It was. So everything.
So this was like when you were 15.
Yeah, this was now when I started the coding, when I started learning how to code, that was 15, 16. And then now when I went to school, that was high school. This was in 2015 after I finished my O level at Kisutu. That's when in 2016, that's when I went to Joburg. So how old was I? I was barely 18, I think, 17. So now imagine a young girl moving out.
Yeah. Coming from Kisutu.
Exactly. Coming from Kisutu, going to this place that I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And kind of you're supposed to live and take care of yourself. And kind of you are in this space where everybody is very opinionated. You know, people have so many opinions about Africa, about everything, in fact. So I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself to?
It's very overwhelming. I can just imagine.
Yeah.
So let me just take you back to like, you know, you saw this link and this guy was like poking you, like, have you applied?
Yeah.
Then you applied, then you got lucky and you got like, it's not luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe you like just put in the right words and they chose you. So kudos for that. So when they chose you, that's email that you got like, Winnie, you accepted.
I still remember that day. I think because usually the school receive about 3,000 to 5,000 application every year, and they only take 100 people
out of 3K.
Yeah, like from all over Africa.
What did you write?
So it was. I think even now I want to remember it. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I remember when I opened the email.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. I thought I didn't know how to read suddenly.
Yeah,
So I remember I had asked my sister, please, can you tell
help me?
Exactly, what does it say?
Yeah.
And it was that moment when, you know, when you want something so much that it hurts.
Yeah.
So you've worked so much on it and you just really want it to work. I think I was in that state and I was like, if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'll do. But I think it was only because I had fallen in love with the school mission and I really wanted to be in a space where I was going to be challenged to my maximum capabilities. And I felt like where I was challenged, but it wasn't enough. And I'm always up to challenges. So I was like, why not?
Okay.
So yeah.
So this school, ALU.
ALA. Yes, African Leadership Academy.
African Leadership Academy. Yeah. So so you're coming from Kisutu, right? And you know, in that context, I believe you're from a family that is not very, you know,
exactly
privileged in the finance area, and you're going, you know, studying abroad. It's expensive.
Very.
So how did that work?
So first of all, I think the school fees currently it might have changed, but at ALA they paid almost 36 USD, that's 36K per year.
Wow.
So you're studying for 2 years, you pay at least 65K to 65K dollars. So that's about how much?
That's supposed to be 72 though.
Or something. They might have changed, but it is ridiculously expensive.
That's very expensive. Are you kidding me? Yo, 35 G's.
It is.
We're talking dollars.
I know. It's ridiculously expensive. I didn't even know school was that expensive. First of all.
Until then.
I know. I was like, what? When I was applying, I think it didn't encounter to me to check about the finances. Although I heard that you could earn a scholarship. And for me, that was enough. I was just like, oh, I can earn a scholarship. But I didn't, I was a kid. I didn't really
put thought into it.
Until I actually got in and I was like, oh my gosh, there are finances. It was like
this shit is paid for.
I know. So, but I remember the guy who reached out to me, he was very helpful. He helped me throughout. And I managed to secure, I think, 98% Scholarship.
Wow.
So I went to that school only paying 2%. So
Wow.
everything was paid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is like peanuts, bro. Like 2%.
Yeah, it was very little actually. I when I was telling my parents, they couldn't even believe it, but
Like
they're
you-
also very skeptical
Yeah.
because who are these people paying all this
Paying for
money?
you, yeah, and it's in a
And you
different
go
country.
exactly, and it was in South Africa, and I remember that time, you know, the xenophobic was going on, so
Yeah.
it was very scary actually to go as a young girl.
Yeah.
But I remember I told my mom that I've looked them up on YouTube and everywhere they're legit.
Did you do that?
No, for real though. I had
Yeah.
because you know, seeing that they with such mission, I was so sure that many people would have gone to that school, so I
Yeah.
started following the people who went to that school, and yeah, I've learned so much from them. So I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to be
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that's what happened. So I went to school paying only 2% of the entire
Yeah.
school fee. It was barely $1,000. I'm telling you.
Wow.
It was very little. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.